yours truly here, and boy, do I have a great episode for you. Today we're going to talk about hip health. I'm going to incorporate 3 great exercises to further challenge your strength and well as mobility to improve your overall hip health. So let's check it out. How's it going, everyone? Here I am in the weight room here at G4G, and let's go into the first exercise. I started off with hip extension movement and lateral movement at the same time. I had 2 black ankle bands and I stuck both feet in each band, and I noticed the bands was overlapped to add a little bit extra resistance, and I had them placed below the knees. There's no right or wrong way to go about this. I can have a band right below the knees and one right above the ankles, and I could also have both bands overlapped above the knee, but as long as it's around the knee to build tension, that's great. That's what we're going for. But either way, my emphasis was stretching the band and getting my leg out away from the midline of the body. So I had to open up my hip a little bit against resistance. So that's going to improve a lot of hip mobility during this particular movement. And since I was in a hip extension position the whole entire time, I was really building that muscle-mind connection of that hip extension, because I know during the day, not just me, but a lot of you guys sit down. So we're in hip flexion right now. We need to get out of that. We need more extension. So once again, that's going to create better balance in our core musculature system. From that, I went into a hip flexion exercise and incorporated an Eric's pad, a balance pad. I focused on more like a sprinter stance at the end. I quickly drove my knee up, and then I had to extend my leg out, and then slowly go back down. And notice my foot did not touch the ground, so my other leg had to balance and stabilize. That involves other hip strength as well too. That's that balance and stability aspect, and the other leg is going to do more of that mobility aspect. So I was really forcing a shortening of the muscle in the hip flexor of a concentric hip flexion contraction as I extend my leg. Felt a lot of tension on my hip flexor, and for those of you who are athletes, that's also going to make you faster. We always want to be faster, right? I know I do, so you got to train that. Moving on to a hip adduction, that is, I utilized a TRX strap, and I was in a side plank position. So once again, more static core stability strain to involve that deep interunit contraction of that core musculature system. And my outer leg was actually suspended in both the bottom loops, while my bottom leg was just touching the ground and bringing it up to my top leg. So as a result, it's going to create a lot of tension in my adductors, or adduction, hence that's the exercise. But since I was suspended, once again, all this was lit up on fire. So it involved much more muscles, not just my adductors, but also my core musculature system. Those are great hip exercises to further improve your strength as well as mobility. Just remember, you cannot overlook hip health. This is very, very important. And as a lot of us get older, we tend to be staring at hip replacements as we get older, because very rarely we move laterally to the left and to the right, hip internal external rotation. It's constant flexion the whole time due to sedentary lifestyles. Sitting down, walking, running, constant hip flexion the whole time. So get out of your comfort zone, incorporate these exercises. Until then, I'll see you next time.